Yo, nephew, hand me that bar stool. You know what it is, and for what it's worth. You can catch me on the best corner 21st. Prime time, shine time, always in the game, never ever on the sideline. You know what it is, and for what it's worth. You can catch me on the best corner 21st. Prime time, shine time, always in the game, never ever on the sideline. Fresh and clean.
Tell you what, we're going to get started right now. I know we're going to start a little different than we normally start because this dude has been on my mind, and he's dominating every darn thing as in my being. You know, we had a bye week, so I wasn't just overcome with football as I normally am. But this cat Rone, man, I think I've watched him battle someone in the schoolyard when he's 6. That's how far.
What do you mean battle? What are you talking about battle?
Battle rap.
Right, I got it. But anywhere, is it anywhere?
Nice little Caucasian kid that you think he is not that guy. He's a liar. Like when I say liar, he's presenting us something different. He kills Jamie. He talked about this one heavy set dude so bad that I wouldn't worked out afterwards. Finds that little thing and tries to destroy it articulately and just concisely and metaphorically, and just Jamie, he does it with a nonchalant attitude, and that's what kills him. Then when they're rapping and they're talking to him, he's drinking a Heineken. Let's just see how I got the sponsor back in there. See how
0, how many calories that goes? I like that.
Get that sponsor back in there. Just drinking the Heineken as if he's not even there. He's a bad boy.
That's why I need to go the Heineken 0-0, because when I'm battle rapping, I need to be locked in. I need to be processing. I can't have any of that mental lag that comes with knocking back a couple brews. I need to be sharp. I want it to look like I'm drinking. Maybe I'll fool the opponent a little bit, but the Heineken really gets me through. That 0-0 is what I need to stay sharp.
Yeah, and it's right. 69 calories. And I think he mentioned those numbers in one of his raps or two. I remember hearing 69 something. I don't know if it was the calories. I don't know what that could have been, could have not have been, but he's nasty, man. Rone, you nasty, man. Like some of that stuff has to hurt. It has to hurt.
Dude, so what it is about me, I think that I'm a processor. I see things and I just process, and I pick up information as I listen like a thief is how I put it. Any kind of little piece of information you're going to give me, I'm going to extrapolate that into some kind of personality issue. Or
you see what I mean, Jamie? Extrapolate. Who uses extrapolate in the record? Who does it?
Not in the record. Prime, but here's my question to you. So this is Prime's off week. Prime wanted to back away. What did you do? And
the other back away from this thing. You can't. This thing good. This thing good. You can't back away from this thing. I don't know what y'all nasty folks out there listening to this podcast thinking what I'm talking about. If you just tuned in when I say you can't back away from this thing good. I don't know what y'all nasty.
You said 69.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Y'all so nasty out there in our country right now. But dog, you leave, and I went to Texas, and I just processed, and I extrapolated some things, and started to jot down some things, to write some things down in my memory, and say, okay, I could do that, or we could do that, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna go in here with the off season. We're gonna do this right now. We're gonna
Can we start your son? Can we just do that? Can I do that? Can I put your son on?
No, see, you're wrong, because I have 2 sons, and see, right now you extrapolate one of them.
I'm the one that's spinning that ball. Wrong. You gotta go. Hey, just like Dion been digging into you, you got to dig into his boy and just watch him spin the ball. Watch him.
I'm excited.
You said process. Same things. You back up. You drop that.
We got a bunch of kids that I cannot wait to see them play.
Quarterback.
They weren't eligible to play in the spring, and I cannot wait to see
them play quarterback.
Play. I can't wait, Rone. It's going to be a great day. I can't wait. for Jackson State to see the hard work and the dedication of the coaches that we've gone out and recruited some real dogs that can play this game and love to play this game. And I spent, the majority of the weekend on the darn phone. I've been on the phone all weekend talking to other ones. Like, hey, FaceTime and other ones.
You just said something. I'm sorry, Coach. See, Ron, you have to do this. You have to watch him. He never says anything that he doesn't mean. No word. So who didn't buy in and who don't love to play? You want to name some names, or are you just saying some people don't love to play?
I don't have to name the name. They just won't be here next year.
Oh, you see what I'm saying, Ron? So you got to watch him. He's concise with his words.
You're gonna be like-minded people in this locker room.
He's concise.
Yeah.
With his words, bro.
Smart, tough, fast, and disciplined. And you're gonna have character. This is not the place for you. You got to have character. Speaking of character, Rone, I know you because I know you're athletes because in every rap you bring up some name that they say, what? How did he use that? Oh my! I mean, James, he's masterful. We got a quarterback that's suggested to go the first pick overall, and he kind of slipped up, but I don't think he did in an interview. And he said some things where people are questioning his fire, his passion, and his love for the game, and I don't know why.
Are we talking about Trevor Lawrence when Trevor Lawrence said that he doesn't care if he wins these games at the end of the day?
I don't care. He did not say, I don't care. He did not say that, wrong. His father said it's not an end all if he don't win the Super Bowl. He comes from money. Why would it be an end all when he's coming from money? He's coming from money. He's not lying. You know what? With our country, we get mad when people tell us the truth and we don't want to hear it. We rather hear a lie. The man told us the truth. That's how he felt. Why should we be mad about it?
But what if Justin Fields said that? What if Justin Fields said that exact same thing? People are going to say Justin Fields doesn't care about the game. He's not tough. He's not mentally tough. I feel like the fact that Trevor Lawrence has been anointed the king of this draft class since the very beginning gives him the privilege to be able to say stuff like that. And the fact that he didn't have that much adversity while he was at Clemson. I mean, I still think that he's the best quarterback in this class, but it's going to be way different. And the NFL teams aren't going to be okay with that.
He's the best quarterback in this class. What are we talking about? It ain't nothing he could do. It ain't nothing he could do that he's not going to go first. He can literally, I can't say what I was just thinking right there because I was just thinking he could literally go to a strip club and do this, and this, and he's still going to go number one. Then I'm not going to say that.
You could go get a too soon.
Jamie don't think he's the best in the class. I don't know. Who's the best, Jamie?
The boy from BYU is the best quarterback in the class.
What makes him the best? What makes him that?
What makes him the best is watching him, his process of the ball comes out. Here's how I look at highlights, okay? And the same thing with the Justin Fields. Okay, so when you look at the highlights, every one of the throws you see the quarterback from Clemson make, it's a wide open, long touchdown. Man-to-man cover, somebody beats somebody.
Not true.
Every highlight they show, but when you watch the games, he don't move the ball the way he need to move. The ATM running back does something.
Here's the guy open he's throwing it to.
Because they always open. First.
Here's the guy open.
They're always open.
Well, he made the right read.
Correct.
We're gonna kill a man for having
what I'm saying is when I watch him, the guy from BYU is the guy that I like because to me it's how the ball comes out, his accuracy. The other guy plays in a more pro-style offense. However, that being said, I think there is a recipe for success potentially because of Urban Meyer's offense, the kids going into his offense. I just don't know if they can get away with that in the NFL. Chip Kelly tried to come in there and do it. Others have tried to come in there and do it. I didn't mean to bring that up. Wrong.
That's messed up. As an Eagles guy, I feel like that's a little bit below the belt. But my thing with Trevor Lawrence is that if let's say that the Jaguars go 5-11 this year, 5-12 this year with that extra game, if he's still saying, I don't really care if I win, we don't have to win the Super Bowl, what are the fans in Jacksonville going to say? What are they going to think?
He never said, I don't care. He never said those. That's the difference. I don't care strong. I don't care. That's strong. He never said that. His father said it's not an end all with him.
But even as a fan, I don't like to hear that. If my quarterback in that I don't care about this as much as you in the stands care about this, because the people who are paying for season tickets, it is end all for them. It's end all, be all. They're going to bed thinking about it at night. And if they don't feel like their quarterback, their number one pick, feels like that, then they're shortchanged.
Well, ain't a lot of people paying for season tickets.
Well, but the key thing is Jacksonville. Right there, it is, right there, Coach. It's Jacksonville, so nobody cares because if he said that and he was playing for the Giants or the Eagles,
Jacksonville cares. Jacksonville does care. The community, the city. That's first of all, that's a beautiful city. I love me some Jacksonville. I do. I really do. Some good fish in there too, Rone. Just in case you know.
Rone,
oh yeah.
There's a lake that they don't have a color orange described for, not the lake, but the St. Johns River. If they say you catch anything,
it's a place that I went there with my man Callaway.
Right.
And I've been there before. It's right outside Lake. I think it's Lake City, close to Jacksonville, right? Yeah, it's down there.
60 miles between. It's in the middle. Lake City's in Tallahassee and Jacksonville.
Yeah, exactly. I went to there. It's a beautiful lodge there that I went there, and some good fishing there. Good gators everywhere. Gators everywhere. Yeah.
Gators?
Yeah. See, Rone, when you fish in Florida, you got to fish, watch the gator, fish, watch the gator. That's what you have to do it in Florida. You ain't used to that. So I wouldn't take you out there, and I hear that gators like white meat because I ain't never seen
it like it. They love white meat.
I never seen a brother get ate. Never.
I was in New Orleans this week. I ate a gator. I had a gator po' boy this week down in New Orleans. So if they want to get me back for eating one of their brothers, I was eating gator this week. So it's on between me and the gators. We have a hate relationship.
Why didn't you have a shrimp po' boy? Why would you have to have a gator po' boy?
I had about 20 shrimp po' boys, and I had to try everything. I was doing a little food series.
Certain things I don't eat. I don't eat stuff like po' boy. Like I don't like the connotation of po' boy. I don't want to eat nothing. I just don't like it. You know.
You're like a rich boy.
I like to eat stuff that make me feel rich, like caviar. I don't even know what caviar is. I just had to have it because it just seems like it's rich. It just seems like it's money.
It sounds rich.
What is caviar, by the way?
Fish eggs.
I don't know what I ate. I just put some hot sauce on it. It was great.
It don't have any taste.
Yeah, it did with some hot sauce. It did with some hot sauce.
Well, hot sauce kill everything. Yeah. I mean, I don't even know why don't you just say I'm having some hot sauce? Because no matter what you eat, the taste is the same.
Hot sauce is like the homie that's a good dude. You know, it's like your girlfriend has a girl that she's just not a big girl or a ugly girl. She's really a pretty girl, and you want her there because yeah.
Not laying down sideways, pretty girl. You mean you want her laying down in the bed? You look like Beyonce.
I ain't into all that. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a good coach.
Is that a line?
Good coach.
Bro,
it might be a line. It could be a line.
Yeah. I think when the Migos, one of the lines about laying down look like Beyonce. One of them rappers got them.
I ain't into that. I don't know.
I like
why wrestling.
Coach,
I'm just a Rone station.
Coach, what is it about rap that has? I mean, you're not just a guy who likes music. You're a rap lyricist.
No,
talking guy. You want to hear what somebody has to say.
I'm not that. I'm not that into it. Now, I love me some Lil Wayne. I love me some Snoop D-O Double Jizzle. Like, I have guys that are in my rap hall of fame that I adore. You know, Pop just make me feel some type of way. I love Biggie. He spoke. Like, I love certain things like that, man. That's why I'm so crazy about battle rap, because I love what they say, because I'm listening to it and how the metaphors and how the insinuations and how they grab something from here and bring it. It's like a comedian, but he's rapping because he's tying it all together. And I love it. Now, the rap game has changed tremendously. You don't have to have a skill set like you once did to be the upper echelon in the game. You don't have to do that anymore. You just have to have a great beat and give some wonderful sounds and, you know, have a voice inflection, and you could be it. You get your turn.
It's kind of turned into a little bit more of a melody game. You're exactly right. But battle rap is almost like the place where if you just know you have lyrics, if you don't maybe have access to the studio time or these crazy productions or these engineers, that's a way for somebody to just get it out the mud themselves. They're like, I'm going to just write this. I'm going to come up with this myself, and I'm going to go head to head with anybody. All you need is your thoughts and your brain. You don't need a big setup. You don't need studio time. You don't need a label backing you. You can just come and fucking figure it out yourself. But it is crazy that how transcendent it is, and it definitely plays a place in the locker room, Coach. So I'm curious. Yeah. I'm curious, who is setting the tone in the locker room? Who's putting on what? Is that up to you? Is it up to the guys?
Tell you what, this is our routine, and we have a routine. Like we say the Lord's Prayer. I give a good go get them speech. You know, let's challenge them with something real quickly. Then at the conclusion of that, I say, now give me my theme music. It's the same song. It's the same song. YG, my hit 'em. That every week, it's the same thing. I love it. That's what we do. Then after that, you know, and before that, the kids get to play whatever they play. But I promise you that you get our butts kicked. I've been out here sound. But your heart and your attitude and your anger after that game. I've been out here nothing.
My hitter.
That's it.
You can't have the punter though. The punter can't be singing along though.
You can't do it.
So, Rome, I want in a minute we're going to talk about our friends at Stable Duel, and
yes, sir.
I don't know, Coach, if you saw the story earlier this week. The NFL signed its first gaming, and how fitting, it's a trifecta gaming deal with several of the gamers. I don't know why Penn Gaming, I guess our friends at Penn Gaming, I guess we didn't come up with enough money. It was too much vague for us. But what do you think about now the NFL officially aligning itself with gaming?
It's inevitable, wasn't it? Wasn't it inevitable that it was going to happen? The question is why now? I need you guys to tell me that, but it's inevitable that it's going to happen. I'm not into gambling whatsoever because I value my dollar too much for that. But isn't football the most bet-on sport
Correct.
in our country?
I think in all the sports in the United States combined.
That's what I mean. It's everywhere. Football is it. So it was inevitable that it goes to that level. I'm just wondering what took so long. Well, we want a bigger piece of the cut, or what was it?
No, it's stigma. So, and just think about it. We fought so hard. Professional sports has fought so hard when it comes to gambling because of the hint of impropriety. But this really speaks to, and I'm going to tie it to the 18 games. This is about growing revenue. The league only has so many ways to grow revenue. This is one simple thing. And so they held their nose with the gambling thing. That's number one. And so the reason they want to go to the 18 games is because they can put on another $2-3 billion on the TV contract with the new games. And so that's why I always have a problem with the former players, the younger players, because don't worry about the weed. And when they weed, this money, there's $2 billion on the table with 18 games.
No better.
But you can't say there's only so many ways. They're going to find any type of way to make money any way possible in the NFL. They're the most.
Wait. Hang on. Let's not use broad strokes.
Stand up for yourself, bro. Stand up.
Let's just go. Okay, so they can't know. What I know is there are two ways that they're growing the revenue other than the TV contracts that they have. And this is their stated positions. One was the gaming. They could do that and control that themselves. The other one, they need these 18 games on TV because it's more revenue on the TV contracts that they just negotiated. Now, what I'm saying to you, I hear what you're saying, but tell me the actual ways that the NFL and how slow they move, can they find ways to grow revenue? There ain't a lot of places to do it. They're not expanding teams.
But you can if you want to, Jamie. You can.
They're not, because they don't want to split the pie.
And if you want to, it's a multiplicity of ways to grow revenue. You can if you want. Okay, first of all, you should have known this was coming. Why should you have known this was coming? Didn't everybody get their butts kicked with the pandemic last year? Everybody. My mama even told me when I went home over the holiday, she came up short. She wanted a little something. So I had to kick her down a little something. And that's my mama. My mama barely leave the crib. So you know darn well everybody got a hand out and a hand up trying to come up. And the NFL owners, even though you didn't make 500 million, you didn't make that this year. You probably made 4 because of the pandemic, but I need that back. So I got to make 6 to break even. So guess what they do? We're going to go into gaming. Let me tell you what else.
And look what, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, so look what the NBA did. The NBA was short on revenue because of the pandemic. So they started selling these NFTs, which are just highlights of their game. They had highlights that everyone already had access to, and now they're selling them like stock commodity, and people are making money. This didn't exist before this year, but they said, we're going to create a whole new revenue stream, a whole new vertical out of completely nowhere. The NFL is, I mean, to their credit, a massive business, but also they're so power hungry and so money hungry that they're going to find any way possible. And if they see people making money off of it and gambling, they're like, we're definitely going to get our cut. You're not going to gamble on us, and we're going to pay off of it. It becomes legal in every state. But I will say there's the fact that they didn't side with Penn. I don't think it's Penn not coming up with money. I think it's Roger Goodell having a personal vendetta against Dave Portnoy and him not. I swear to God, that's what I think it is.
I don't think that. But
you don't think so?
No, because Roger was our first guest, and
yes, okay, I understand.
To that, I had to ask Roger some tough things, and he's not fully aware of all the attributes of our beloved boss.
He hasn't seen the tape.
No, he's not. He ain't seen the tape. I'm sure he.
By the way, I'm not watching the tape.
That's a lie. I just heard. I just heard from Erica. It's not a tape. It's tape.
It's a whole series.
Well, hang on. Aren't we at 25? Aren't we at 40 different people in the Deshaun Watson situation?
I don't know.
So it would only make sense he didn't do it just once. And
it looked like he was. It looked like he had practice. He wasn't no rookie. That wasn't no rookie tape I saw. It wasn't no rookie there. It wasn't no rookie. That wasn't rookie.
But see, that brings up this. But see, Dion, I can't watch that stuff.
You can't what?
I can't watch that. Not that.
But you could be in it. But you can't watch it. But you could be in it. See, that's it. Dudes like you, you and Rone. See, y'all can't watch. Rone ain't watch either, but he could be in it. See, I don't understand y'all, man. Y'all don't watch stuff, but you could be in it. If that ain't wrong, that is wrong.
No.
Not watch, but you could be in it.
Because
imagine if you were on the Cowboys and Chan Gailey comes out with the tape. Are you watching Barry Switzer's tape? Are you going to watch Jimmy Johnson's tape?
Exactly.
Yeah, because when I talk to somebody, I want to know details. I don't want to know details when I talk to somebody. Like Coach Switzer, come on, man. You come on, you get the Lord in that part. Yeah, come on, man.
And Coach Switzer did have a tape because he said Chan Gailey.
Now, Chan didn't have a tape. No,
hang on. He said Chan Gailey. Are you saying Coach Switzer actually did have a tape?
No, out of the two, the one that would have had a tape would have been Coach Switzer. I promise you.
Oh man, hang on. Let me tell you guys for a second. I just want to talk to you guys about that Stable Duel app, because we're talking about gambling and it's coming into all of our lives right now. You could just go on your phone, put a couple wagers on, and the easiest and the newest way to do that is with the Stable Duel app. Finally, horse racing has a contest with playing. Stable Duel brings more action with its fantasy-style games where you can play against each other for big money payouts. It's just like fantasy football. You select your team of stable of horses, and you watch the points rack up. There's daily games, big cash prizes. It's easy to use even if you don't know how to use the sport. I'm just getting into horse racing in the last year, and it is intoxicating. It is so much fun to play. The Stable Duel app is just an easy, intuitive way to do it. So download the Stable Duel app right now. Start playing right out of the gate. That's StableDuel app. That's the Stable Duel app. You gotta try it. Sorry, I just had to interrupt real quick and let the people know
because you triggered some thoughts.
Okay.
First and foremost, wasn't fantasy football? Isn't fantasy football really gambling? Isn't really organized gambling?
Gambling 1.0, correct.
So how in the world you did not think the next procession was going to be real gambling and the NFL wasn't going to have a part of it?
I think everybody did that. I think it's the question became, how do you grow legitimate other revenue streams is basically where we were, because it only made sense. But the other part of this goes back to, if you're going to legalize this, can we get Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame?
Pete Rose should have been in the Hall of Fame.
No, I know, but okay, but now
I'm a baseball guy. I'm a baseball guy. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't great. I was all right. But Pete Rose, Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens should be in the Hall of Fame. Let's get that straight. I said it. I stick by it 100%, and I didn't stutter nor did I stumble.
But you need to do something about it. Hang on. You guys need to do something about this right now.
Who's you guys?
All of you dudes that got jackets that Rone and I don't have.
What do you mean, you people?
Huh?
I got a Hall of Fame jacket.
That's what I'm saying. No, that's what I'm talking about.
Say that again, Rone. What do you mean, you people? Let me talk about
What do you mean, you people?
What do you mean, you people?
People other than me and Rone. Did you see how I did that?
Yeah, watch your tone when you're talking about you people.
Yeah, you people.
So to me, it's like when they legalize weed in the United States, they need to let everybody out of jail who has a weed offense. Anytime when they legalize it and when they open up the Hall of Fame and for gambling, they need to let everybody, Pete Rose specifically, into the Hall of Fame. But I'll even take it a step further with Roger Clemens, Barry Bonds, and all those guys. I don't care that they use steroids. I don't care if people use steroids. It made the game more entertaining for me to watch, and I understand that if you're playing against them, you feel like there was an unfair advantage, but a lot of people were doing it. There was no rule against it, and it took the game to a level of publicity that it had never seen before. These are all-time greats no matter what. In the long term, it's a blemish on their record, but nobody's going to forget that. Let them into the Hall of Fame.
But now the reason I say the Yellow Jackets or Gold Jackets have to do this now is because at this point it's hypocrisy. If the largest sports brand on earth, okay, and you're a two-sport guy, but why wouldn't you, Jim Kelly and Ricky Henderson, you know what I'm saying, the body together sign petition, whatever, saying we are going to demand that they put him in, or we're not coming back to Cooperstown ever until they let him in. That's the kind of action that's got to be taken.
If I said that, say cool. We ain't never seen you no way. You don't need to come back. Good.
If enough of y'all do it, it's not a good look.
And let me tell you something. Alluding to what you just said, you just stumbled over something that I need you and Rone to weigh in on. I'm sick of every time something happens in our country, some Tom, Dick, and Harry and Larry want someone of significance, of notoriety, to stand up for that action or act. Sometimes it's not their anointing, it's not their fight. Why you keep throwing sticks and stones at Jordan to stand up for this? I even heard somebody say, well, Denzel, man, you better leave Denzel alone. He's an actor. Actor, not activist. Like, come on, leave Jordan alone. He's a basketball player, owner. He's not that. That's not some people's fight. That's not who they are. Leave them in their lane. Leave them alone. Let them be who they are. Quit making people out to be who you want them to be, and that's not who they are. What about you? Won't you stand up and do something about it? Well, my voice ain't big enough. My voice ain't big enough. They don't want to hear me. I don't either. We're trying to push everybody up on the platform to have them get canceled. And we're trying to, when did this canceling society start, Rone? When did this canceling society start? That if you don't say nothing, that everyone's agreed upon, if you say something totally against the grain, we're going to cancel you. How?
It's like if you see somebody in the street getting beat up, sometimes it'll be like someone should do something. Well, why don't you do something?
You know why they ain't doing that? The person the camera. The reason they ain't doing nothing because they don't want the camera filming it, so you can see them get beat up. That's the darn problem.
And the other thing about like asking someone to say something, like something happens in the world, they'll be like, why doesn't LeBron say something? But as soon as he does, then there's another faction of people that are going to come in and say, shut up and dribble. Shut up, because you're not going to have people happy no matter what. And people really should take the onus on themselves. But I think a lot of the people who wind up doing the canceling have something in their past that they're feeling bad about. They want to give themselves a moral high ground where they're like, I canceled this person, so that makes me a good person. It's just like, just clean up your own mess. Like, deal with your own stuff, clean up your own mess, and stop putting it on another person that they need to be completely wiped out.
Zoom right now got a toilet.
It's a fact.
Once or twice a day, something's in it. All right? So don't act like ain't nobody put nothing in that toilet. Okay? And probably 3 people out of 3 on this Zoom call right now got a toilet, something's in it, and there's some air freshener in the toilet or in the room. Why? Because it stinks. It ain't right, and we don't like it. So quit trying to act like this and that, and we are all the same when it comes down to it, but stop trying to count. I'm sick of this canceling society. I'm sick of it, and I'm sick of everybody trying to force somebody to do something that they're not comfortable with. You can't. Everybody's not comfortable with everything.
When you fellas had Ice Cube on the program, he said something that really stuck with me, and he talked about the fact that as a celebrity, you say stuff that not everybody's going to agree with. And people now have this feeling that if he says something, one thing that I don't agree with, then he's done. Or if he does one thing that I don't agree with, that he's completely finished. We need to find a way to back off of that feeling. Because
which one got you the most upset, Jamie?
Well, I remember with Cube was the OG Kush. So that's what I remember with Ice Cube was the importance of the OG. Now, he held that. I haven't got my OG Kush yet. What?
The person I had the most problem that they tried to cancel way back when was Jim Brown. Like, if Jim Brown ain't a brother's brother, if Jim Brown ain't a hood, if Jim Brown ain't the activist, if Jim Brown ain't the dude's dude, I don't know who Jim Brown is. Like, you tried to cancel Jim Brown because he went to the White House to hear out Trump and what kind of plan he was trying to incorporate with our people in the inner cities.
Get something rather than nothing.
You know who Jim Brown is and what he's done for us?
No.
Do you know that Jim Brown walked away from the game at the highest level, the pinnacle of his career, and said, I'm going to do some movies. I ain't got time for that. I ain't got time for y'all. Ain't going to treat me like. Do you know that's who Jim Brown was and is? When they tried to do that, when we tried to do that, I was done.
When they did Steve Harvey, it was the same thing.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I mean, it makes no sense, defies logic, that there is nothing that he has not done. But
Steve, when you think Steve is not in there fighting for more money for Steve, Steve's in there fighting for equality for us. When is your mind going to incorporate that thought process that maybe someone's in there fighting for us, with us, about us? That don't make no sense to me.
To me, it's like when I look at politics, the tribalism of it is what turns me off the most. I don't know why anyone would ever want to be a politician, A, because immediately 50% of people hate you, but also the political system thrives on separating people and making people feel like enemies, that if you think something different from me, then you should be canceled or I can't agree with anything that you say. And at the end of the day, it just drives people apart, but people love watching it. People love feeding into it. So it's like this snake that eats its own tail. It's not really an interesting situation, or it's just depressing, honestly.
Speaking of depressing, I want to talk about our friends at GetRoman.com. There's nothing more. No. There's nothing more depressing when your equipment ain't working. You're in the moment. By the way, log on to GetRoman.com. That's GetRoman.com.
Did you see when you said that how Rone just slumped down in the seat? Like, it was like, you know, when the pastor's talking to somebody in church and they just get uncomfortable. Rone got really uncomfortable when you said something about equipment not working. I don't know why. I don't know if it was a personal.
He's too young. Yeah, he don't know nothing about that. He's saying that don't apply to me.
I never heard about equipment not working.
He was talking to me. But let me tell you what I'm talking to. I'm talking to somebody who's my age, who the equipment ain't working like it used to. But all you got to do is get them swipes, man. Let me tell you about the swipes, man. You know, there's take the swipes out. Everything comes to you in a very discreet packaging. You can put it in your wallet just like you used to do the old condom. And you don't have the condom ring hole. Remember the worst thing that happened when you were a kid? Well, you don't know anything about that because you guys don't use condoms anymore. But we use condoms. And
did. They just prayed.
Just
freestyle. He just sat on the edge of the bed and said, Lord, if you get me out of this one, Lord, Lord, if you get me out of this one. That's what they generation did. Go ahead, Jamie.
GetRoman.com/Prime. GetRoman.com/Prime. By the way, Prime, last thing before we close this show out.
Go back to Roman a little bit because I need to know a little more. Like with Roman, so when do you do the swipe?
You do the swipe, probably a little bit before you know what's going to happen.
So you know
it's kind of dry.
So both y'all in the bathroom.
No. You got to do it discreetly, dog. Come on, man. Come on. You go to the bathroom by yourself. Close the door. You got to go pee or something like that.
She does that too, though, right?
No. It's just for the man.
In your generation, Ron, don't the girl usually excuse herself to go make sure everything's straight?
I think it's the same play as it's the putting on the condom play. You step aside, you grab the condom, you step aside, you grab the Roman swipe. You just pop on the Roman swipe, feels better, this sensation works.
This is something that's very important. You asked, when do you put it on, right, Coach Prime? Now I heard this. Now I don't know if this is true, but this is what I heard on the internet. You got to make sure that it really dries because it'll numb the tongue, is what I heard in the white paper.
What kind of Roman? I think you got the wrong Roman.
No.
Roman noodles. You talking about the tongue?
You're not listening to what I said. You're not listening to what I said. What I heard on the internet, Coach. Here's what I heard on the internet, Coach. That if it ain't dry and somebody goes down there too soon, they might lose. Their tongue might get numb. I don't know. I saw that on the internet.
Okay.
I saw that on the internet, but that may happen. See, I make sure it's dry. Okay.
So we need a fan with Rome.
You can also try to make sure it's dry. I'm just saying. I don't know. I saw it on the internet.
Jamie's a freak. I love it. I absolutely love it.
I'm glad you said that.
Well, no.
I'm not freak shaming. I'm not kink shaming. I got no problem with it. I champion that type of behavior. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, but see, here we go now. All right. So again, you're not freak shaming. The biggest story we have in sports is because somebody's a freak. And everybody's doing the same thing with the shaming.
You gotta stop.
No, it's true.
But here you go again. You would not leave this thing alone. Like you're infatuated with this story and you won't stop. Haven't you by now said to yourself, hey man, it is what it is?
You know, I don't like people to pop. It goes back to the same thing you said with shaming. Okay. There's a hypocrisy here. I just feel bad for the kid.
Everybody feel bad for what about James? We got to feel bad for everybody. We can't just feel bad for the kid. You got to feel bad for everybody. If there's a woman saying she has been taken advantage of, you got to feel bad for her.
If they said they were being taken advantage of, I'm just saying if you're being taken advantage of, I'll take 3 more hundred. Thank you. That's problematic for me. See, and again, like it's like we're acting like Deshaun Watson created some industry that's been around for centuries. That's my only thing. Is like we're feigning this outrage. We're feigning this outrage like we've never seen this before.
Rone is looking at you like, what is this dude talking about?
Rone knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Rone, please say something. Do not sit there.
Jamie, do you have a massage parlor thing? Do you have a similar thing? Do you have a? Is this a you thing?
I've had a happy ending. Yeah. Okay, that's what you're asking. That's my point.
So,
no, I don't.
You don't want.
I understand it has happened, and these people are ganging up on this kid, whatever you want to call it.
James, you got to stop now, James. You can't say
like he just made this up.
Yeah, all of a sudden,
it's just like
I'm not.
Okay, let's skip that. Okay, wait.
A lot of people involved in this. You can't say nobody's ganging up. Nobody.
Let's move to Tiger Woods. So
no, Rone has to put a period at the end of the sentence. Finish, Rone. You still have. This is your third round, Rone. You know what that means.
I just didn't know if Jamie, if this was hitting close to home, and if it is, that's fine. But if there's a lot of people who are saying this, and it comes out in a couple months in a court of law or whatever, that the women were telling the truth, then like if we say that
the truth, I think the women took the money. I think the people took the money. I'm saying everybody. That's why if you look at the test, let's move on to Tiger. My point. I'm not trying to get into him. I'm trying to get into hypocrisy. So let's forget this part. I want to go to Tiger. Because
it cannot be hypocrisy if a woman is saying, "This is my story. This is what happened."
The lawyer, right? But the lawyers are also saying that the stories are inconsistent, and the people there are people who were taking the money. I'm not saying everybody. I'm not saying that. I'm saying there were a lot of people who repeatedly took the money. That's all I'm saying, and I'm saying that. This has been around a while, but I want to go. But the point I'm trying to make is your point, and going to Tiger Woods' situation with all of a sudden now Tiger was the first man on earth to cheat on his wife.
No, he wasn't either.
No, yes, he was, because that's what happened. That's what they made it seem like.
Jamie, who is they?
The people that forced him to go into the dang rehab. Them people.
Tiger Woods went into the darn rehab to say the endorsements that he had, the $100 million that he was making. He didn't go into the rehab to get better.
Tiger Woods was vilified like he was the first man who ever had an inappropriate relationship.
Tiger Woods was the guy that a lot of people of all ethnicities looked up to.
And
his persona was such as it was blameless, it was authentic, it was wholesome, it was presentable, desirable, it was all that.
Tiger Woods. There were guys that are
this. Rone, I want you to hear me, because you're gonna be great and you're already great in certain areas of your life. But when you're gonna be extremely great in this, you're gonna have an extreme struggle of this. It's gonna be some struggle, some type of place in your life. That's just how man and
stay away from the massage parlors, dog. Stay away from the massage parlors. Don't go to the massage parlors.
But it does seem like not everybody has the exact same thing, but it's like, how do you respond to your scenario? And with some people, it can beat them. With Tiger Woods, like, he overcame his scenario. It's unfortunate that he just got into this.
It's the hypocrites. It's not about what he did. We got womanizers. We got guys who are cheating on their wives that are killing Tiger Woods on TV. And my point is, I'm just fed up with the hypocrisy. You asked the question about the hypocrisy. I'm just giving you the hypocrisy. You know, they make it seem like Deshaun created happy endings. It didn't happen. He got, somebody. You got to deal with that.
From the advertiser's perspective, though, it's like advertisers can do what they want with their money. So it's like if they're paying for a certain image of somebody, and when that image changes, they're going to take that money away. So from a societal standpoint, I don't really give a fuck about him if he's just getting happy endings. Like, if that's what he wants to do, I'm okay with that.
He's doing repeatedly.
Yeah, but if
he's been 2 or 3, I heard,
But societally, like, that's looked at differently than how I feel about it. I'm more like liberal about it. I don't really give a fuck. But if that's taken away, and especially if it looks like he was taking advantage of something, those advertisers are allowed to. They can put money wherever they want, though.
Well, that's 2 conversations. So, but going back to the kid, what if other people were taking advantage of the situation too? I.e., I took the money, he stopped using my services, so now I'm gonna pile on this circumstance to make more money. That's all I'm saying. It's just
I haven't heard that scenario. That somebody stopped using the
I'll send you over. I'll send them to you.
Somebody stopped you, because it seems like a lot of people is using the service. It don't seem like It was 1 or 2 bit service. It seemed like it was you had to wait till the merry-go-round, come back around.
Hey man, that was his thing, man. But
hey, I ain't tripping about his thing.
Bible says.
I don't want you to be a
the Bible says what's done in the dark will come to the light.
Well, we show hope now. I show hope, Lord, please. Please, Lord. Yeah.
Let me stories like this.
That cord. Do not pull that chain by that light bulb, Lord. Please don't.
Well, on that note, we're going to pull a chain on this show. That's going to do it for this edition of 21st Supply. Remember, as always, we got a lot of merchandise out there. Please get the merchandise. Also, subscribe to us on YouTube. And Rone, quit biting your nails. He's not supposed to bite your nails on.
Rone, I'm going to tell you how that looks. Rone, if you stop right now and freeze, it looked like you was biting your nails. But
digging your nose.
It was a knuckle, and all we just seen, you see the end of your finger. That just wasn't a good look because the screen froze right there.
And I'm usually not even a nail biter. I mean, I don't have the manicure like Coach over there, but I'm not usually a nail biter. I usually like to keep it.
You gotta be careful. He notices everything. That's what he does, Jamie. That's why
hold him up. Hold him up. Look at him shining. Look at those things. Almost blinded me.
Hand me that bar.
We out.
Yeah.
You know what it is, and for what it's worth, you can catch me on the best corner 21st. Prime time, shine time, always in the game, never ever on the sideline. You know what it is, and for what it's worth, you can catch me on the best corner 21st. Prime time.